Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Jabril Youssef Faraj, author of Guardians of the Cosmic Clocks, and today we're going to be talking about what happens on release day. You've written a book, you've gone through the whole process of drafting it up, you've gotten a cover done, you've uploaded it onto the sites. Now it's release day, you're approaching the big reveal, and what do? What do you do? And I want to walk through that with you. So come on in and let's go for a little ride together. I actually just had a release, I published my second novel, Guardians of the Cosmic Clocks, Wings of the Gods. My gosh, it is an undertaking. I can't say that I've fully figured it out yet, but I think I'm starting to wrap my mind around this a little bit more. I also have the added perspective and benefit of having done some music releases in the past. So, through trial and error, I've gone through this process a few times. It's not as daunting as you might think. So that's the first thing. Let's get over any of the fear or insecurity about what's going to happen here and get excited because you wrote a book and now you get to announce to the world that it's here. This is the fun part. So let's focus on that and do it with as much enthusiasm as we can, because this is a happy time. This is when you get to celebrate what you've done. So first off, it doesn't start on launch day. I know some of you might be thinking, oh, of course, but others might be surprised. You think, oh, well, it's launch day. We're going to be doing all this stuff on launch day. A good launch day comes with proper preparation. I would say that you want to start that preparation 60 to 90 days before. So first of all, of course, you want to make sure that your book is uploaded on your distribution platforms. It's ready to go. It's scheduled for release. So you're not going to have any surprises. So that's the first step, is just making sure that all of your ducks are in a row in terms of your book actually going out, because what we would hate to do more than anything is to announce a release date, to be marketing in the lead up to it, and then have some kind of hiccup, either uploading the book or, any of those logistical processes. It's a nightmare, if you have to freak out over whether the book is going to be up on time, or God forbid have to change your release date because it's not ready. Then you kind of you're in the position of being the boy or the girl who cried wolf, and you got to do it all over again, and that can erode trust with your audience. So make sure that the book is uploaded, all ready to go, and then we're going to start moving on to the next steps of our promotional process. So what I did is I have a spreadsheet of bookstores, podcasts, schools, libraries, and I'm going to use the contacts that I already have in there in order to promote my book. Now, with my first release, I had the benefit of getting Guardians of the Cosmic Clocks, the Emerald Tablets, into 10 bookstores in 3 different states. Again, this took me looking up bookstores and getting all their contact information, their web addresses, their emails, all that good stuff. So I already had that on hand. And then what I had to do was just get back in touch with those bookstores. Some of them that were already carrying us, and some of them that I wanted to get Guardians on the shelves. So what I did was I split those up into 2 camps, and I said, okay, I'm going to write one form email to the bookstores that already carry us, and there's going to be some parts in there about, thanking you for supporting us and hope you still will. And then you're going to write another form email to the bookstores that don't support you yet. And so once I created those 2 emails, I then scheduled a bunch of emails to go out. I did it all individually. You know, I'm not doing BCCing and putting, you know, a bunch of emails in there and sending one email out. That can work, but it's a little impersonal. So what I try to do is make sure to personalize every email in the ways that I can. That usually means, you know, the first name of the contact for that bookstore, if I have it, putting the name of that bookstore in the email somewhere at some point. I like that as a little added personal touch. You know, those little things can really go a long way. I write my emails to the bookstores, I schedule those. So those are all ready to go. You know, you have this functionality in Gmail is that you can schedule things to go out whenever you want them to. So do that all beforehand, get it out of the way. In addition, before launch day even came, I sent out a handful of emails to podcasts that I was interested in getting on. And you can start doing that, you know, as early as maybe, you know, 40 to 60 days before. Getting the word out doesn't have to wait until actual release day, particularly when we're talking about media promoting a release. So if there are podcasts that you want to get on, if there are interview shows that you want to get on, you can reach out to those before the actual day, because it's probably going to take some time in communication to set up an interview, figure out a good date, schedule that interview, do it, and then actually release it. That could take as much time and bring you right up to the actual release date. But even if it comes out before, hey, that's great. That gets people ready. You can promote the pre-order. Having all of that ready to go and out of the way when release day comes is super important. So you don't have to think about it. It's all ready, and you can focus on other things like scheduling your social media reels or videos or whatever you're gonna do. You should have an announcement, some kind of announcement that you're gonna put out first thing day of. I like to do a little short video showing the book, talking about how it's the release date, obviously peppering some of the things in there about what it's about so that people know and can get excited. You might wanna do a pure photo post too, so that people have an option of what to share. And then what worked really well for me this time around is, you know, just kind of a candid photo of me holding both of my books, smiling, showing that you're genuinely happy. You know, if it comes off scripted, people hate scripted stuff, and sometimes I fall into that trap too. But if you can give your audience something that appears to be genuine and spontaneous, because let's be honest, you're happy, right? This is launch day. Give them that and it's going to resonate. I know what it's like being an indie author. You are always pinching pennies, trying to get the word out. Gosh, I have to have a website too. That's why I've chosen to go with tertulia.com for my official author website. Listen, websites out there, they're everywhere. It's overwhelming. What do I pick? Is it going to work for what I need? Is it going to be too expensive? You can hardly find a website that'll host a domain for less than $25 a month these days. Tertulia is only $9.99, and it is geared specifically toward indie authors like you and me. It looks great. It's so easy, and they are really passionate about supporting indie authors. Go over to tertulia.com, use the link in the description, create your account today, and get started. So you have all of your emails scheduled, you have your social media ready to go. The other thing that you want to get out of the way beforehand and start laying seeds moving up to the release date is your newsletter. If you don't have a newsletter, that's okay. You can always start now, but you should be building one. This is our direct line to our audience and people who have opted in, who want to see what we've got going on in terms of writing books. They're readers, they love books, and they've opted in to follow us in that way. They want to know when you're putting something out. So what I did this time around is I created a 6 or 7 email series with 3 that I sent out beforehand, and then 3 or 4 that will go out afterwards, up until all the way until a month after the release, following up about making sure that people got the book, asking for reviews. Write up your emails. You can schedule them again with a tool like MailChimp, for example, which is free to use until you have, I think, like 10,000 contacts. So you can do that all right there. And now we have everything that we could get out of the way leading up to release day, all scheduled, ready to go. Release day gets here. It's the morning of. What are we doing? We've got our emails to our bookstores scheduled. We've got our newsletter going out. We've got our social media reels and posts going out. What now? Well, if you're a part of any group chats, any Discord servers, any of those little communities on Instagram, where people can put out their content to folks, again, who have opted in. If you have any ways to touch multiple people, this is the time to do it. Hopefully you've crafted a message beforehand, but you can even do it the day of. Put a message together that describes a little bit about your book, what's going on, some of the biggest themes, some of the coolest plot points and pieces, and send it out to these groups. If they know you at all, again, they'll be grateful. You can make sure that you make it clear that there's no pressure for anyone to buy, but you would be grateful for them sharing it with their communities, with their circles. That's really what we want to accomplish here. Is we want to get the word out. We want people to know what's happening so that they can take it into their little pockets of life and tell people who they know, because word of mouth is our greatest marketing asset. You really can't do anything better. People talking about your book to the people that they know is invaluable, and that's really what we want to have happen, rather than trying to, force people who are right in front of us to buy the book. That's really what I did this time around. Now, are there other things you could do? Have I covered everything? Probably not. You can add little touches in. Go by a bookstore that you want to get your book in. Show up in person in your best, fancy jacket or clothes, looking like a put together author, and tell them that it's release day and you would love it if they would carry your book and give them a little pitch. Fill out a suggestion form for your local library. Most of those, you can find online, and they have some kind of submission page that you can find either on the bottom of their main page or on a contact page, or sometimes you can set up an appointment to talk with a librarian. So do those little things, just that you can to get your book out, and be intentional about how you're spending that time on release day. I almost forgot. You take it off. Take release day off. Just take the whole thing off. Make sure that you don't have any other responsibilities that day but to get the word out about your book. This is a day for you. You don't want to be spending it on other things. You work your day job regularly. You're doing other things to make ends meet. But this is a day where you get to celebrate yourself and be genuinely excited about something that you've done. This is an accomplishment. It's a milestone. So make sure that you emphasize that. Plan something, a dinner or a get together, at the end of the day, that you can just kind of decompress and enjoy the time and celebrate the milestone, because it doesn't end here. You know, we've written the book, we've launched it, now we've got to sell that puppy, okay? And that never ends. We are always promoting our books, we're always marketing our books, but this is a big milestone, and it's important to celebrate those milestones, because when you don't, it can feel really heavy, you know? So schedule something for yourself, get together with friends, or maybe it's just a quiet night in, a bath, a book of your own, a cup of tea, something where you can say, hey, I did this and I got here, and you know, we're gonna go further. Thanks for coming by. I hope you are enjoying the video. I just wanted to take a little break to tell you about my Patreon community. My Patreon community is where you can support me to the tune of a few dollars a month, and what you get in return are free signed copies straight to your mailbox anytime I publish. That's right, when you subscribe at the bookworm level or above, you're gonna get signed copies of all of my books straight to your mailbox before anybody lays eyes on them. If you really love my work and you want to go above and beyond, you can subscribe as an art lover, and then you're going to get some additional rewards and bonuses. So thank you so much for your support. The arts are more important than ever, and I couldn't do what I'm doing without you. Take a leap, become a guardian today, and help us save all of humanity. Now, back to the video. A couple other things that are coming to mind before I let you go. I would recommend, and some people will say, hey, Jibril, this is overkill, but when I publish a book, I make sure to message every one of my followers. Instagram, Twitter, you have a direct line to people, and they have opted in to follow your journey. Okay, some people are gonna be like, I don't want to annoy anyone. Get over that right now, okay? What do you want? Do you want people to know about your books? Do you want people to buy your books? Do you want to have a serious career as a self-published author? Or would you rather be afraid and not say anything? If someone unfollows you because you're messaging them about your books, letting them know about this amazing value and creation that you've brought into existence, they don't really want to be your follower anyway, okay? So just do it. Get over yourself. It will be okay. Little things like that can go a long way, and the social media algorithms are so uncontrollable and unpredictable these days that when you put your posts out, they're not going to go to everyone. So this is a way to let everyone know, hey, I did this, no pressure, but you can get it. Run some kind of promotion, whether it's a free book promotion or a discounted promotion, particularly on the ebook is good. Having some kind of time window that people can go out and get it, but only for a few days, creates that urgency. Why not make more content while you're at it? You know, take some time on release day, go in your backyard or in your little book nook or your writing desk or wherever you make content, and just make some more. You know, shoot videos from a few different angles with a few different pitches, take some photos. It'll be good to have that content ready for the coming weeks, because like I said, this journey doesn't stop on launch day. It's just beginning. So again, give yourself a hand. Your book is out in the world, and I want you to be able to appreciate that for the wonderful accomplishment that it is. And then let's get to work, because we've got a book to sell. Thank you so much for coming by. This has been my release day checklist. I make videos for indie authors on all of the different questions that you have about the self-publishing journey. I share my journey with you so it doesn't have to be so hard. I would appreciate you checking out my other videos and come back and see me sometime.